Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this Fund for Success annual giving campaign webinar. Of course, this will be for the 2021 year. Again, thank you for taking your time to join us. For today's presentation, I am going to keep all attendees on mute, and I will answer questions at the end of the presentation. So let's just get to our agenda. So first of all, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about myself, and then we'll talk quickly about GSHH. Then we're going to talk about what the Fund for Success annual giving campaign is and what it really does, what your role will be, what type of materials you can expect from council, and understanding the donation process. We're then going to go over some tips for success, have a little review of the 2019-2020 year, and at that point, I will be able to answer all of your questions. So first, let me please introduce myself. My name is Felicia Bronstein. I am the Fund Development Associate at Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. I have been with the organization for just over a year now, so this will be my second annual giving campaign. I am a Girl Scout alum from the Northern New Jersey Council. And as such, I am a very big outdoors woman. I love to camp, I love hiking. You can often find me in the woods with my two dogs. It's what I like to do. As always, if you ever have any questions about annual giving, fundraising, really anything in general, please just feel free to reach out to me at fbronstein@girlscoutshh.org. And then, of course, that is our office phone number, and my extension is 739. So, Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson, our membership for the previous year, the 2019-2020 year, which we just closed out, was 17,324 girls. And then there were 9,245 registered adults. Of those girls, 106 were funded initiative members, which those are girls who have applied for funding assistance, and we pay for their membership fees, for their uniform, and make sure that as many girls as possible are getting the Girl Scout experience, and that nobody is getting left behind, even if their family maybe can't afford some of the fees. So as such, what is Fund for Success? I'm actually going to go back. Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson does serve girls in 7 counties. We serve girls in Dutchess, Orange, Putnam, Rockland, Sullivan, Ulster, and Westchester. And while we may not necessarily be the largest council, GSHH is a unique council in that it has both densely packed populated urban areas as well as rural county areas. So what this results in is a diverse group of girls that we serve, with some of our rural girls having limited access to technology or STEM learning, while many of our urban girls may not have that ability to get to green spaces as much. So this really gives us a diverse group of girls to work with and to provide for. Additionally, with this particular year, obviously COVID-19 has been very disruptive to every level of Girl Scouts, of everything from troop operations all the way to council operations. We were uniquely affected at Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson because the New York State pause actually occurred just a couple of weeks into our cookie sales. So we were among the top 10 councils in the country that were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many troops and service units were unfortunately forced to cancel their fundraising events, and as GSHH similarly was forced to cancel our large-scale fundraising events, such as our annual giving luncheon or our tribute to women. So this year's annual giving campaign is very, very important. The Fund Her Success annual giving campaign is an opportunity for families and friends of our Girl Scouts to make a donation directly to the council. These donations allow us to provide high quality programs, recruitment, screening, and training for the nearly 12,000 volunteers and adult members that are part of our ranks. And it gives GSHH the ability to maintain our camp properties and our offices. Additionally, when it comes to funding, Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson invests about $250 per girl for years. That's per year, I'm sorry. That's across the board, regardless of whether they are a member that is paid for by the council or from families. So while product sales, program fees, and Girl Scout shop sales bring in about $185 per girl, this still falls a little bit short of covering all these expenses. So this is where the annual giving campaign can make up the difference and ensure that we continue to provide our best Girl Scout leadership experience possible. So what is your role in the annual giving campaign? As service unit managers and annual giving chairs, Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson asks that you take the lead in getting your service unit to their annual giving goal. One of the most important aspects of this is to simply be the champion of the annual giving campaign and promote it when you can. Encourage troops and families, as well as neighbors and businesses within your service area, within your service unit, to donate. Families are often unaware of the benefits of donating directly to council. Keep track of the donations that come directly to you, and if you're aware of donations that may be coming in from members of your service unit, please alert us so we can make sure that your service unit is properly credited. The last aspect of the annual giving campaign is to plan fundraisers. Now, I know that this is a tall order right now. Holding in-person events is tricky at best if we can even allow it based on guidelines, which do change very often. Additionally, what one individual might feel comfortable with, another individual in a group may not. So we are doing our best at council to try and brainstorm new ways that service units could plan fundraisers. We have been meeting with various online platforms, which may allow us to hold our virtual event and may allow us to give service units and annual giving chairs their own means to build a platform with which that they can campaign upon. Unfortunately, we do not have all of this set up yet, but as soon as we do, we will be getting it out to you guys as quickly as possible. So your service unit annual giving materials. In the opening email for the year, I did email you several documents that will help you keep track of annual giving through the year. The first is your annual giving chair checklist, which you will see on the screen right now. This is a personal checklist for your use. You do not need to return it to council. It merely gives you a rough idea of the steps you need to take through the year. Each service unit is individual. You may not end up needing to go through each step, or you may have other ways to reach your goal. But this does give everybody a rough idea of what they can follow along with. Your service unit bookkeeping form can be used to help keep track of donations that you receive from individual troops within your service unit. It can be returned to council with relevant annual giving donations, but is not necessary. The troop report summary is given from you to troop leaders, and it allows troop leaders to track donations that are given to them from parents within the troop. This report can then be given to you, and while it is not required to return the page to council, it is very helpful to us as it allows us to thank parents who have made those donations, and we can so we do encourage people to return that when possible. Other materials which I will be giving out but have not been included in the email. These include your 2020, 2020, and 2021 annual giving flyer, This is currently in the process of being finalized. We are hoping to get it out within the next week. The flyer will be available to distribute to friends and family to help you better engage with possible donors. A digital copy will be emailed out to service unit managers and annual giving chairs when it becomes available. And of course, physical copies will be available upon request. In addition, the Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson remittance envelopes, which are meant to collect donations and can be placed in the mail, will also be available by request. Something to consider this particular year when requesting physical materials is they may take a longer time to get to you. I am not in the office every day. I do return sometimes, but I cannot always guarantee speedy turnarounds on things like this. So if you have requests for documents, please make sure to give yourself some time to get those documents to you. So how can donors make donations to GSHH? Obviously, we accept cash or check, which checks can be made out to Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. Both can be mailed to our Pleasantville office, but you can also remember that if you are stopping by a Girl Scout shop and you have donations, they can be given to the shop, whoever's in the shop and entered at that time. Make sure that you give them your service unit number so it will be attributed to you. Donors can make donations online through our secure website at www.girlscoutshh.org. All donations can be attributed to your service unit. We have a attribute that asks for anybody to put in their troop and their service unit number, and that is how you get credit for those donations. So please make sure if you tell parents to donate online to encourage them to fill out the whole form. Workplace giving. Some employers will offer workplace giving programs, which will allow employees to make donations based either on their volunteer time or it will allow them, or your employer can take a set amount out of your paycheck and put it, donate it to Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. This can also be really great because sometimes they will match the donation. Finally, supporters, families, and businesses can choose to sponsor a Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson event, or they can purchase advertising within our program guides, our camp guides, or our event materials. Again, obviously, we are still uncertain what our next GSHH event will look like, but you can rest assured there will be sponsorship opportunities when it comes along. So some tips for success. One of the obvious things that you're going to run into sometimes is objections. Often people will ask, well, what about my $25 membership dues? The $25 membership dues go directly to Girl Scouts of the GSUSA. So this provides activity insurance, marketing, training resources, and gives us the ability to be considered a national organization. But unfortunately, of that $25, Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson does not see any. Troop dues may be another thing that you may run into. Troop dues are determined by the troop and can vary in amount. Some troops choose to have none, others have larger dues. They may cover uniforms, materials, and outings, but again, they do not support Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson in providing girl programs, volunteer training, or membership services. So again, it does not cover that gap in providing these services to our girls. Use your materials. We can, again, provide you those printed materials upon request, and they really can help. The annual giving flyer can help give people a visual guide and really let them see where their dollars are going. And encourage the enthusiasm. if you go online, the Girl Scout Research Institute is a service that is provided by GSUSA, and it provides a lot of interesting research as to how many girls are positively affected by Girl Scouts and what types of things they go on to do. Obviously, if you're here, you're happy to be here. You're an important part of Girl Scouts, and that enthusiasm that you feel, share it. It's the best thing that can help us share the message and get others interested in investing in our GIRLs of tomorrow. Last but not least, let's go over a quick review of the 2019-2020 year. Obviously, it was a tricky year. Thank you all for being an important part of it. The Fund Her Success annual giving campaign was able to bring in $193,000, which is fantastic. Service units managed to collect $54,000, which is huge. It was a little bit shy of the overall goal, but not by that much, especially considering how many service units annual giving campaigns were really disrupted by the New York State pause. So we can't thank you guys enough. It's really impressive, and thank you for really pulling through. So if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and type them in the question box now. If you have questions in the future or would like to make requests for materials, you can, of course, email me at fbronstein@girlscoutshh.org. And again, there is the phone number, 914-747-3080, extension 739. Please make checks payable to either GSHH or Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. Either is acceptable. And if donations are mailed, please mail them to Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson, the Fund Development Department at 2 Great Oak Lane, and that is in Pleasantville, New York, 10570. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang out on the line and wait to see. But that is all. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for attending, everybody.